Term expires October 4th, 2029. Attended 37 of 42 meetings. Is Ms.
Yeah,
here?
yes. Right here.
Come on down.
Come on.
Woohoo.
She's
Thank
mine.
you. I know, District 9. Thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the work you've been doing on the Port Authority and why you'd like to continue.
Sure. So I'm Deanne Hughes. I am a lifelong Oklahoman and grew up in Broken Arrow, worked in Oklahoma City for a while, and then came back to Tulsa about 15 years ago. I joined the Port Board 4 years ago, and I started my first term as chair a year ago. So I chair it, and I will chair it again next year, assuming reappointment happens. I am trained as an engineer, practiced environmental engineering consulting work for 25 years and still practice that independently, and then work at McElroy Manufacturing and lead our IT team at the Broken Arrow campus. So it keeps me mostly very busy.
Well, we're excited that we have the chair with us, and of course you have to be reappointed to continue that
It does help.
leadership.
It does help. Yes, it does.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Yes,
for all
You're
you
welcome.
do.
Thank you for
Thank you
giving
so
me the
very
opportunity.
much.
It's a great board, and it does wonderful things for this part of Oklahoma.
42 meetings, that's a lot. So this is one of those prolific ones. Well,
That is a bunch. In a year?
No, that is
A term.
Okay, okay.
Three-year term. 3 years term.
yeah, pretty good. You will come up for reappointment after the new year, actually, on the 14th of January. You're welcome to join us at the 5 o'clock meeting when we take that vote. You're not required to, though. So
That's fine.
it'll be a few weeks, but then we'll get to it.
That'd be
So
great.
Thanks for coming in
All right.
today and
Thanks so
visiting
much.
with us.
Appreciate you. Thanks for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Of course.
Item number 3 is Billy Barnett, reappointment to the
Yeah,
Tulsa
thank you.
Performing
I
Arts
did
Center
take
Trust.
it.
Term expires June 30th, 2028. I'm going to recuse off of this one, so I'll be back. Okay.
Musical chairs.
Come on down.
Come on up, Billy.
Come up here, wherever you want to sit, Billy.
Yep.
How are you? Good.
Hi, welcome. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've served on this Performing Arts Center board I've had several reappointments, and I'm very grateful for that. I tend to have an arts and culture interest. I've served on the State Arts Council, currently on Tulsa Ballet Board. I serve currently on the Mid-America Arts Alliance, which is a 6-state regional arts board. And I was on the Kennedy Center, National Committee for Performing Arts. So I feel like I have a background, and I would like to help as I can.
That's fantastic. Thank you for your willingness to keep going on
Well,
this. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Well, it's just now getting interesting.
Yeah, it is, right? Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you so much for everything you've done for not just our city, but all the nonprofit boards you sit on too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank right
It
back at
matters.
you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be approving this at the January 14th meeting. Is that what that says? I didn't
Yeah,
read the
January 14th,
classes.
5 o'clock meeting.
5 o'clock meeting. You don't have to be there, but if you are, we welcome you. And that's when we'll finalize it. All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you. Is she coming back in? Well,
Come back in,
Lori.
Lori, Ryan, keep reading. Bye.
There's a lag on on this TV.
Oh, there is, yeah. That's very true.
She really left.
She really left. Okay, I'll keep going. Okay, number 4, ordinance adopting the second supplement to the 8th revision of the Tulsa Revised Ordinances codifying ordinances enacted between October 30th, 2024 and June 25th, 2025. And there's an emergency clause on this, and do we have?
I think it's just
Jack?
Yeah.
Counselor, this is the,
Counselor, but
Musical chairs. Jack, go ahead.
this is the routine periodic update to our municipal code. It's a compilation of all the laws you've passed over this period of time. You see these periodically. This is required by statute to provide notice to the public and to provide for distribution of these ordinances.
okay. So it's just SOP. Okay, I'm gonna skip number 5. I think Chief's coming at 3 o'clock. Just, I told him when he gets here, we'll put him in. So, let's do number 6 without objection. We'll go to number 6. Quarterly report from the Executive Director of Partner Tulsa or their designee regarding current priorities and projects. Come on to the table. Hi there. Hi. Welcome.
Yeah. I'm just giving the presentation. All right, we have a presentation. I brought some of my team. And we have handouts. All right, here we are. Hi, everyone. I am Ronita Wade. I am the current interim executive director of Partner Tulsa. And I know that we haven't spoken to you in a number of months, if not from the start of the year. So I'm going to go over kind of where we are right now, what we've been up to this year, and then Mike is going to talk about some of our incentives and tips we're working on. We have Vicki is going to be coming up to talk about housing, and then I'll also discuss, kind of what we're looking at for next year and beyond. I prepared some handouts for you guys. What you'll find in there is not only our annual report, which is back-looking, but also our strategic plan for the next couple of years. There's also our project map, a project tracker, as well as a nifty guide for local elected officials on economic development. So just some nice nighttime reading. If we move forward, so really I want to give you an overview of where we are as an organization. As some of you might know, there were some leadership changes this year. I have been the interim executive director as of May 31st, and Gary Hamer, who's been a longtime city employee, has been at Partner Tulsa since the start, has been operating as the interim deputy director. We've also moved from 15 to the 7th floor. I believe all of you should have badge access. If you don't, please let me know.
Which floor?
The 7th floor.
Oh, great. Okay, we'll come to you.
Yes, please do.
Okay.
I have it on my slide as well. I know a number of you have come to our monthly lunches. So it's been great to speak to you then and chat a little bit more about your priorities, and we'll have that going forward in 2026 as well. Our current headcount is 18, and since coming on board, the focus has been on, for me, internal operations, making sure that we are operating at our best, we have our policies, procedures in place, and we double down on what our strategic advantages are. And just a reminder, we have 2 different boards. Of course, Councilor Bengal is on our TEO board, so we have TEO as well as TDA. There are 13 members in the TEO board. There's 7 in TDA. We meet monthly. Next meeting is tomorrow. Everyone is welcome to attend, and that's where we go over our action items, and the board approves some of the major decisions that we make. Lynn Kane has also come on board as our finance director, and she's helping strengthen our financial reporting. And as I mentioned, we've been working on our internal processes, policies, and procedures. The strategic plan is in your folder, and those are the main activities we're going to be working on for the next 3 years. A lot of those activities are just our existing commitments. Things that, economic development, housing, incentives, they all take time, and our intention is to double down and focus on them in the years ahead. I did just want to present to you the current org chart. I kind of see it as the left and right. So on the left side, we have, of course, the board, which oversees all of our actions, operations, all those sorts of things.
And we have community development under Gary Hamer, who is our deputy director. On the right side, we have our 3 focus areas, which are housing and real estate, incentives, and economic development and workforce. This is a brief overview of the areas that, especially EWD, which we call it, have been working on. One is training for local leaders. Jonah is here, back here in the room, and he's been really leading our small business initiatives. I know some of you were at the event last week, looking at food trucks. We also have rolled out with a new tool called Size Up for business intelligence and analytics for small businesses that we're offering for free through our website. We're also doing trainings. So we had a Bonds 101 training. We had an Incentives 101 training. I think Bonds was earlier in the year. Incentives was a couple of weeks ago, and we have a TIF one coming up next year. With the Build Back Better grant, we are working with partners like TIL, the OP Project, the Osage Nation for our workforce development pipeline. We're looking primarily at school-age children, so middle school, high school, some elementary school, and just providing that early pipeline, that early exposure to drones and autonomous vehicles. We'll also likely be housing the AU VSI chapter in Oklahoma, which again is autonomous vehicles. This is a nice quote from the OP project on the success that we've seen with our students, particularly at Booker T. Washington. Business attraction, of course, is a large part of what we do. We work with the Chamber, we work with our philanthropic family foundations, as well as the tribal nations on these projects. These are some of the proactive business recruitment visits that we have done last year and the ones that we intend to do for next year. Some of our active projects, the national and global economy has, of course, affected business attraction and economic development, the types of companies that are looking to grow, where they're looking to grow, what they expect. At some points, they've hit pause, and other times they're ready to go. Primarily, of course, manufacturing is an area that Tulsa is very strong in, so we've been looking at a number of RFPs for that. For us, we focus on the public benefit and the public good, and of course, the jobs, making sure that we have well-paid full-time jobs is a major North Star for the activities that we do.
What is the other? What's in that category?
Oh, that can be everything from like financial services. It ranges. I don't, those exact 6, I'll tell you right now, I actually can't say exactly what they are.
Yeah, even supportive of the other industries that are listed there. Basically anything that does not fall into those big categories.
Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Mike to lead on incentives.
Good afternoon, councilors. Mike Dickerson, SVP of Incentives, Municipal Relations. Just wanted to touch on a few things that highlight for looking back into these last, 12 months. It's hard to believe it's December, but I've talked to many of you for TIF districts inside of your council districts. I wanted to highlight the 3 that were approved here recently. The Pearl District, Crutchfield, and Southern Villa. In the Pearl District, just want to mention that we have approved one catalytic multifamily project that will kick off revenue collection inside of that TIF district. We're in active negotiation with another multifamily housing project, and we've also seen outreach to and from a number of other small-scale housing developers throughout the neighborhood. Inside of Crutchfield, we're continuing work negotiating term sheets for with 2 of the major developers inside of that area. You're absolutely familiar with both of them. One of them is Habitat for Humanity, and the other is Guru Stew. So both known players inside of that particular neighborhood, and we're looking forward to having development agreements with them here shortly. Southern Villa, you guys are very familiar with this in Councilor Archie's district. It was a massive transformative housing and retail project, and we do have a signed development agreement with them. I would flag for you that we are looking towards a potential amendment to the project here in the coming months, just as the bond conversation continues to shake out. Looking forward, there have been a number of additional TIF projects that have come forward. We're actively working on, of course, the one in Councilor Hall Harper's district, that's the Peak on the Parkway, as well as we're working inside of Councilor Bellis's district in downtown, looking at a potential amendment to the downtown project plan to either add in some additional TIFs or potentially revise some others that are already out there. We do still have discussions with developers throughout all quadrants of the city for potential project plans that would see more development coming in. We continue to work with the city and our council representatives for all of these projects, and just appreciate your support. Your support actually makes these vital projects, these vital tools actually able to function. So this is my opportunity to say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's turn it over to Vicki.
Thank you all. I'm going to talk to you very briefly about our finance and real estate work. This year we've been working to provide our community with single-family lots and larger multifamily or commercial lots. And at this point, we are down to having 3 of the larger commercial lots left and only 5 single-family. So as you can see, we'll soon be in acquisition mode on that. One of the other things that we've been working on is our sector plans or urban renewal plans. That's kind of a tool that we need to spruce up a little, if you will, and either update some plans or create plans. So that's something we're working on. We are on target. As you know, we have 6 garages that we manage, and we are on target with our biannual capital repairs across our garage system. We have the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and that has been active since 2022. Just a couple of months ago, we completely depleted that fund. So all of the efforts associated with that work provided for 931 housing units. The financial assistance we gave produced 931 housing units, and just with the rental assistance alone has kept 500 families in their homes, and that's been critical over the past few years, and I don't think that will lessen any. We're currently working with the MacArthur Foundation to get funding to help with previously justice-involved individuals getting into housing and then transitioning out after that. So that's going to be a great program. And we are also gearing up for the issuance of private activity bonds. So that's, again, something that we've done in the past, that we're kind of, blowing the dust off and getting back into it.
Thank you, Vicki. Next, community development. So one of the activities we're working on right now is we received a grant of about $990,000 from the Department of Transportation. And it's to look specifically at the Kirkpatrick Heights, I should say the Kirkpatrick Heights Master Plan, which includes not only the area north of the highway, but also the Stitch and the Plaza. And so through that grant, we've been able to hire consultants to do a lot of the technical analysis required of those areas. So we want them to look at the water, the sewer, drainage, storm, all those kind of things. And so they started as of last week and met with TPO, a lot of the city staff. And we also met with the mayor and his office last week about how we can all work together. Another one is the Community Impact Initiative. I know I saw a few of you when at the opening, so this mural that's under the highway right in the Global District. That was supported through our Community Impact Initiative, and we'll be starting a cohort 2 in 2026. I was going to say this year, but I'm realizing this year's over, 2026. Yep, and so looking forward, really, I've been wanting to just double down on our unique statutory tools. The economic development tent in general has become quite wide, and we really do want to focus on what are the exact things that we have strengths in. As Vicki's mentioned, private activity bonds, we do want to restart that program, and we're working with our bond council on developing out the process, the procedure, and the new application for those. TIFs, obviously, as Mike said, that's been growing quite a bit, and we do intend to keep on working on that tool. And also, it's really just a collaborative ecosystem, so working across, the philanthropic families, the regional chamber, ODOC, the tribal nations, we're working with all of them on projects that we have. We want to execute on existing commitments. Again, you'll find that in our strategic plan, in the existing commitments addendum. So within the strategic plan, we have all of the activities we'll be doing. We will be prioritizing those activities at our board retreat that is coming up in January. So getting our board's inputs on which things they want us to prioritize. And so then we can also develop out metrics and track our performance. This is the project map. You have it in your folder as well. Just looking at all the different areas that we have a little bit of a hand in.
Look at all that work in District 8. It's amazing.
Noted.
Nothing in D9
Did you want a
either.
new mall there or something?
I need a new mall. I don't have a mall in District 8.
I know.
This
You were
gets
the queen of the mall.
very
I have the
suburban
mayor of the
residential.
mall.
Oh, the mayor of the mall.
Yeah.
Mayor of the mall.
Yeah, no queens either.
Would you like to have a mall, though? We could just put
No.
it in on
No,
101st.
I have the Burlington Northern over there, or Burlington Coat Factory. I'm good. Burlington Northern.
You have some mall.
What do you need?
What's that?
You've got God's country.
I know, that's it, yeah. People just flee from my district to go other places.
All by design, all by design. Okay. Is that the end of your presentation?
That is the
Thank
end
you.
of
I've
the
got
presentation.
Counselor Archie and Counselor Bush.
Thank you for this presentation. So yes, I'm looking at District 2. Maybe talk about, on the project map, the B box and the C box, these retail strategies, contracts. Maybe give a little bit more color on, it looks like this is Tulsa Hills, and then you have Woodland Hills. Kind of what's the latest with that?
Okay, I'm going to give this to Mike. Been around a bit longer than I have, especially for these projects.
Sure, so we have an existing contract with Retail Strategies to explore and recruit all along our retail corridors. We're actively marketing and trying to attract new retailers to both Tulsa Hills as well as the 71st and Memorial retail shopping centers, if you will. Due to changes that have happened, as we're all aware of inside of the retail market, there have been, downsizing or right-sizing of locations. And so some of the stores that we one time saw 100,000 square foot big box locations, those are not always ideal. So we're being very creative in how we are marketing sites and working with the owners of those centers or those large box stores to keep them fully occupied. Those are opportunity sites that we are doing the heaviest push in marketing for.
Is that the contract from which we got Shields? Is that, no?
No.
Okay.
No, that was an organic outreach.
Okay.
We're trying to synergize.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Definitely.
So, no, this is a separate contract. Counselor Q was part of the RFP, and I was. That kind of happened right at the end of the last administration.
Thank you.
Counselor Bush?
Can you tell me what the private activity bond is?
Yeah, so
Define
it's
that.
it's tax-free debt that we can issue that provides a public good. So we can look at things like manufacturing, housing, and different areas.
Parking?
parking, like, yeah, there's a wide umbrella for that, and I think that kind of discernment of like which box, there's a couple of boxes that people can check when filling out an application for that. The idea is that you get that benefit if there is a larger public good.
Okay. And then follow-up,
Oh, go ahead.
retail corridors? So it's just those two? I don't
three.
need a map, yeah, whatever. It's not in my district. Those two that you talked about, or three that you were talking about, because you had a grant with them or a contract with them, are there any opportunities for doing retail corridors in other areas?
So we've been looking at that, and so the contract is with Retail Strategies, which is a consultant that we employ, or we have a contract with, to help with business attraction.
But this is just Partner Tulsa's retail strategy
Correct.
approach, Counselor. We have a retail redevelopment funds that if there were some opportunity outside of these three designated areas, it can be applied. That's how we got Shields.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no one tool that works for every situation. So
Right.
using the contract that we have with Retail Strategies, we use that for marketing and for opportunity identification. So then we try and stack that with, once we have somebody who is interested in coming to Tulsa, seeing what exactly we can offer, if we need to offer something that would make them go across that finish line and locate here.
Got it.
So that's when it enters the incentive side of the house, and we start trying to right-size a deal that will land.
But like our redevelopment funds, if there was a project at 51st and Harvard or something, those dollars could go there. Or to any place, any district. Those are citywide.
Okay.
Yeah, and we actively market all sorts of different locations. In fact, prior to the meeting, Councilor Archie and I were talking about some work we did over in Crystal City. And still hopeful that we can fill the void.
Yeah, we're also working on a project in Northwest Tulsa for a grocery store. So we're going to be part of that RFP process with the partner there, and going to be employing Retail Strategies to help find the right fit.
Okay.
Counselor Bellis.
This is just a curiosity.
Let's do it.
I know we have, a number of different active TIFs, and some of them, are ones that are fairly historical, where, sometimes you're projecting that something may develop, and then it may not get, may end up not getting activated. I'm curious, because I've been reading about cases where you do TIF or a TID or something, for like data centers, which I know we have stuff on the books, where it's for a company that's being prospective and doesn't necessarily actually have like a contract with like Meta or Google or what have you, and they might go seek to build one but then not end up following through. Is that like a contingency? I was just curious how we're approaching that, or if we are, I just know that like, I've just been reading more about that happening in other cities. I don't know that that's what's would play out here. It's just becoming curiosity about, if we go out of our way to like set up a whole thing for a company that may, maybe build something but then not follow through, or may not sell the property, or we end up with this very large building that's not necessarily a value add on the land. This is just prospectively a curiosity, because again, I know for other projects, not just specific to that industry, things happen.
Right, totally. And I think, I'll give it to Mike, but I do want to say, we can only talk for the projects that we're in control of. I know there's other areas doing different things.
Are we able to say if the one we have now is for like a company that, like it's not just a prospective one building something for another company to come in?
No.
Okay, it is like the company.
No, so it is.
Okay.
I would say that whenever it comes to TIFs as the tool, I mean, the burden, if you will, is on the development itself.
Right.
We put the tool into place, and if the company does not do, the owner does not do, and does not generate the increment, then the city is not out any extra dollars for anything, because it is all contingent upon them producing something of value. So TIF is a wonderful tool because it looks at future values and just dedicates those to a very specific geography to help achieve whatever the goal of the plan is. So for the sake of, some kind of future development inside of a TIF, there's no real liability for you on the city side. It is all on the developer, all on the owner to produce.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Partner Tulsa? Well, thank you so much for coming, and thanks for this packet of information. We'll move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Counselors, we're going to go back to item number 5 now that Chief is here. We're having a discussion with Chief Larson about the new Tulsa Area Metropolitan Area Police Blue Envelope Program. And Chief and I did a press conference earlier today, so I'm glad to see you here now at council. I think he's bringing,
The blue envelope.
the blue envelopes. So I'll just turn it over to Chief to explain what we're launching here.
See if I can get the right number going each way. And I'll tell you how we got here. This was back in August, and I was attending a Chiefs Intel meeting over in Oklahoma City, and the Chief Basie over there was being congratulated by the chief from Yukon, the chief from Moore, Oklahoma, the chief from all the surrounding suburbs that touched Oklahoma City. And what that, there's not supposed to be a letter in there.
We just have the envelope.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, there we go.
So when the meeting was over, and that doesn't go in the blue envelope either.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
You got to listen to the whole thing, Counselor Lakin.
When it was over, I approached Chief Basie and said, so tell me about this blue envelope. And he said it was one of the most positive things he had done within the community since he became chief. And it was basically a 3-part form that was provided by the public safety community in Oklahoma City that partnered with Autism Oklahoma, which is the group that parents and citizens who lobby for better laws addressing just autism, only autism. But he said the Blue Envelope program was so much more. So the more he told me about it, I came back, told my staff, I said, let's start researching it. It sounds like, I don't see any negative to this. It's a win-win-win. And when we started researching it and we identified what it was, it's essentially, and we actually could go back and look at encounters our officers that had when they stopped a car or the fire department came in contact with somebody who they did not know had some sort of a communicative disorder. They didn't know the person was deaf, so they repeat the same instructions of the person because the person's not complying with their instructions. Or they walk up to a car, and this actually happened to a police officer's son. He's in his early 20s. He's high-functioning autistic. He lives in Bixby. He comes down Memorial every day, goes to work, goes back home. He got stopped because he went to a school zone too fast. Officer walked up, motorcycle officer being motorcycle officer, pretty robotic. Said, please, I need your driver's license, your insurance. And told him why he was being stopped. No response. And what happens with high-functioning, some autistic children is you get that freeze. They don't know what to do. They're being confronted with bright lights. They're being confronted with rapidly changing conditions, and they just freeze. This envelope, and this is just step one, but this envelope is placed in the driver when they get instructions with the counselor, and it says inside here, make a copy of your driver's license, your insurance papers, and your registration. This card is placed with the envelope on the outside of it, and it gives the opportunity for the person who is a family member who has an autistic child, in this case a police officer, he goes through here and he checks the neurological or the communication disability that his family member has. This is sitting in the glove box. This smaller version of the big card has the same boxes on it. This is up on the visor. So when the officer approaches, if the autistic child knows if he sees this, if he just reaches over, pulls this out of his glove box, or pulls this up, that instantly tells the officer, I've got to slow everything down, address the issues that I'm now confronted with. I know he's just not going to simply respond to normal verbal commands because maybe he can't hear me, maybe he's suffering from anxiety. We've changed his set of circumstances. We just slow things down. It makes us a better police department. What really I thought that I learned from Oklahoma City was same thing in Tulsa. We're a city of about 410 to 415,000, depending on which census or poll you want to look at. Roland Metropolitan Tulsa, with every law enforcement municipal agency that touches us, Broken Arrow, Wasso, Jenks, Bixby, Glenpool, Sepulveda, Sand Springs, we're a city, or a metropolitan area of over 700,000, some say 750. So would you want to touch 400,000, you want to touch 750? I asked the chiefs to join me, and it was funny, I was actually on vacation with my wife, and I got an email from Councilor Wright, and she just said, hey, I've heard about this program, we got to do it. I'm like, already working on it, Councilor, but when I get back from vacation, we'll drive it home. And by then, we invited all the chiefs, we asked every one of those, they sent the head of their agency showed up, and we explained the Blue Envelope program, and we explained the biggest thing was, a lot of people in Broken Arrow, a lot of people in Owasso, Bixby, you name the suburb, come into Tulsa every day to work, and so do their family members. And some of their family members, I have 2 autistic children within my family, one niece and one nephew, children of that, suffer from that. Okay? I could see a benefit for my family. I knew Councilor Wright, when I talked to her, she talked to me about her daughter who's getting ready, who's 15 and getting ready to start driving, the benefit this program would be for her daughter. And it's going to be a benefit for everybody in Tulsa. And Councilor Wright spoke eloquently at the press conference this morning about all the different people this program will touch. I have yet, in 3 or 4 months of development, to have one person tell me one negative thing about this program. So I think it's great for the community. It's the embodiment of what community policing should be. If there's anything I learned, I was a little bit disappointed. I can remember a decade ago helping at the Tulsa State Fair and checking in families who had an autistic children and finding a method for them to help track that person while at the fair. I found out from Autism Oklahoma, our community-based support system has kind of dissolved in Tulsa. We don't have a group of parents anymore in the city of Tulsa that kind of represent the family and the community and those individuals that have autism and basically are a voice for them. And Councilor Wright and I talked about, we don't know how exactly we fix that in the future, but we're hoping some parents will step up and go, hey, we want to get this group reactive. It is still active in Oklahoma City, it's just not active here. And we're big enough that it should be over here. But what does the future hold on this? You give this to a bunch of college-educated police officers, and that's what I have working for me. And I said, hey, research this when I get back from vacation. I want to talk about it, and I want to implement it. So I come back, and they pretty much looked and reached out to every department who does it, and they got the same feedback that it was a fantastic program. And I said, let's say how we can make it better. I said, okay, tell me. So first off, we think if we employ a small sticker, they're talking about like 1 inch or 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, and we hand it out with these, and we say, please put it on your back windshield lower left of the car. The officer will know when he's stopping the car. He doesn't have to wait to walk up and see a blue envelope come up. So that's in the process of being developed. Councilor Wright, in one of my early meetings with him when I got back, recommended like, hey, does dispatch track this? Went to IT, went to our website developer and said, can we put a tab on our website that a family can click? They can load a form that basically says, this is my name, this is my address. The person in my household suffers from one of these, whether it's autism, whether it's somebody who's elderly and suffering from dementia. But then when the officer's dispatched to that house, it's a flag that comes up, dispatch, it comes up on the officer's computer as a, hey, as an alert. When you get there, you may encounter somebody who has a communications issue, and this is the issue. It's kind of like, I don't know that the fire department still does it, but we used to pass out years ago stickers people could put on their windows where either children were in the bedroom or dogs were in the house, pets were in the house. And this is just an alert. We're trying to alert the officer either when he does a car stop, same thing for TFD and AMSA. When we're going through the education protocol with all of them. I was really heartened to see every chief said, yeah, we want in. And every chief showed up at the press conference today. We have complete buy-in from all of Metropolitan Tulsa. The program has been launched. It's at every one of our divisions for the community to pick up. The Sheriff's Office is going to have it not only downtown, but also at their headquarters up at 66th Street North. Broken Arrow, Owasso, all of them are at their main stations. We're going to push it heavily on our social media starting today. We hit 380,000 followers. So that combined with every media channel, and Tulsa was there today, I think we'll have a good launch, and then we will make it better in the future. As soon as we can get the tab up on our website, and as soon as we can develop the sticker program for the rear window, those are things we'll launch in the future. Councilor Wright?
Oh, thank you, Chief. Yeah, so you covered it all. I wanted to just say thank you again for being so responsive, and I think these kinds of initiatives, high impact, low cost, and as community members start to use it, engage with it, if we get feedback, we can be responsive. It could just be another layer of training or education for community members, for officers. So I'm excited that we have this opportunity. It's a little self-serving as I am getting my 16-year-old ready to be a law-abiding driver, and there's added layer of training that has to come when you do have someone in your family who has some sort of communication challenge. And as Chief said, that could be someone recovering from stroke. That could be someone who's learning English as a second language. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that people have a hard time communicating, verbally especially. And, we were talking earlier today, it is a stressful situation even for someone who doesn't have a communication challenge. You get a little anxious, heart rate starts going. It's kind of by design, right? That when you see those lights and sirens and you realize they're for you, you start thinking like, I hope everything's where it's supposed to be. So for those of us who have elders or young adults that need that extra kind of next step, I'm really excited that we have that visual cue. Also having this on your visor, right, that'll also be a reminder for the person that's driving, like, oh yes, I have this tool. And then I think the sticker, if we get to that point, and of course that's an opt-in, not a requirement. Not everyone's comfortable disclosing all of their challenges, but for those who feel like it is an accommodation they want, we'll make it available hopefully. And I had asked about the 911 part because of the work we're doing pre-hospital, but some of the feedback I've gotten from constituents over the year, that might be a household that gets 911 called by neighbors regularly because maybe a nonverbal autistic child is, I think people forget, like, just because you're nonverbal doesn't mean you're not necessarily mute, so they can be quite noisy and maybe alarming sometimes to neighbors. And so I have a couple neighborhoods where 911 is called regularly out of concern, but really it's just that's how that household is, communicating really. And so I had some constituents ask like, hey, could they not come with the sirens on if they just saw oh, it's that house that has maybe, a kid that's screaming all night, and, the neighbors call 911 because they don't know what's going on. Because at 3 a.m. when the sirens do come, that's actually, adding to the stress of my household in that circumstance. And I was like, I don't know, we'll have to look into that. But, we know who our most vulnerable are. We know with gelada and things, we're doing a better job of keeping track of kind of, the higher needs in the community. So I just think when we know better, we can do better. And these kinds of things, to me, I know there's time and effort and printing costs and things, but pretty low barrier when you compare to maybe possible outcomes. So I had Councilor Bellis.
Oh yeah, I was wondering, I'm so excited that we're doing this. I know nationally there's been tragedies that have happened because of those types of miscommunications where situations escalate. I was curious about kind of what the training rollout looks like a bit more as far as.
We're going to do online training for officers because that's the fastest way we can do it. And we also do squadron training where the captain of the ship will get up and go through the program. And it's basically a recognition program, so the training is pretty simple, and getting up to speed quickly about it is not really considered to be a challenge. Like I said, I've already had officers go, well, if we did this, it would be better. And yes, it would be. And we will look at each one of those offers and see how we can tweak it and make it our own. I do hope that this might be the impetus for somebody in the community to stand up and say, I'd like to start an Autism of Tulsa to match the Autism of Oklahoma and Oklahoma City, to be the voice, not just in city council, but in decisions that are made that affect all those families that have somebody who's challenged.
I think my other curiosity is kind of the feedback loop of how often it gets utilized. I know it would be one more thing for an officer to have to go record or track when, if someone hands them one or whatever that interaction looks like.
It'll be captured on their body-worn camera.
Okay.
And we'll probably ask our officers to give us some examples. We have to walk that fine line of publicizing somebody's disability versus the feedback I want to know is, are you encountering it? And are we having is it making a positive impact? And if it's not, what did we not think of that we need to fine tune the program? So we will
So
ask
there's
our
not gonna be like
officers
a
if they
manual
go.
data entry place for it to, I just wasn't sure if there's a place where like, hey,
Not right now.
just to see what, okay.
No, well, there's a place in every supplemental form that the officer can write comments.
Right,
Be
but there's
very
not gonna
easy.
be like a box to check
Right,
somewhere
not
so
on
we
the
can tally it
tickets.
up, how
Yeah.
high utilized it is.
Not at this time,
Okay.
yeah.
Any
Counselor
other
Lakin?
questions? Did you have any other questions or comments for
I think the
Chief?
sticker ad is great.
I will, oh, yeah, Counselor Dayton.
Thank you. So, I'm wondering a couple things on the neurodevelopmental condition.
Right.
I know that mental illness, mental brain disorders like schizophrenia and bipolar, I know that schizophrenia is also considered a neurodevelopmental condition, and it also shares some of the same alleles and brain,
Neurological substrate.
thank you, that people with autism do, and that people with autism are 6% chance higher having schizophrenia. When a person is stopped, what does that look like when this is presented?
Well, the officer should first look at the training rules, said that the officer look at the card, and let's just take the very top one. If the occupant has checked deaf, and for my nieces and my nephew, I went one step forward, I took it home and laminated it, because they're driving, and I could imagine it being all wadded up and folded up and stuck somewhere. I wanted it a little bit easier protected, but hopefully the officer would look at that, and if I saw deaf, the first thing I would think of, okay, I need to go back to my car or pull out my notebook pad and write down the question I'm asking him, driver's license, insurance. Let him respond to it. There's a myriad of ways the officer can respond. They all carry a department-issued cell phone, and we talked about having them go to notes and just type out the information they need to process and move to a successful conclusion of the call. It's all really going to depend on here, and if you'll notice down here, it speaks limited English. Preferred speaking language written below. We left a little space underneath here so somebody could write Spanish or French or the language they speak. We are this close to our body cameras being able to actively translate in real time where somebody speaks a language. We don't have to guess. The body camera, there's a button that will activate the language translator, and it will tell us, the individual speaking German, he said this. And then we can push the same button a second time and say, I need to see your driver's license, and the body camera will speak German back to the person who spoke to him. Probably, again, the real drawback will be, because I see Mike sitting in the back over behind Councilor Lakin, will be the costs that come with that. Everything costs more. But it's a tool that when it's available, it'll be something we'll have to look real hard at to see if we can make happen, because over 30% of our population is Hispanic. And a communication barrier for the Hispanic community has been in existence. But I can say the same thing for the Hmong community, which is a little bit smaller. I can say the same thing for the Vietnamese and even the Arabic with our Afghan families that we settled. The nice thing is, that last development check with Axon, the translator only has 2 languages that they're still working on inputting, and every language I just mentioned would be translated. But it's one of those things when the programmers finally finish it, it should roll out, and there'll be a beta testing point where we can look at it and go, okay, is this really worth the bang for the buck? But it's probably the next breakthrough to addressing communication problems. And we all know if we can communicate, then we can de-escalate, and if we can de-escalate, we get successful conclusions of our calls or our traffic stops, because it is a traffic stop. It's high anxiety for me, and I'm the chief of police. Not that I've been pulled over lately. I'm just saying, if somebody comes up behind me with lights and siren, I see them coming, my first thing is, where do I go to get out of the way? And inevitably with me, I'm always sitting at a light, and I got somebody on the right of me, and it's like, is the ambulance going to go by my left? He's going to come up and scream at me behind, like, get out of the way. But everybody feels that same way. And imagine somebody who has some sort of communication disorder. if I'm anxious about how do I get out of the way of that emergency vehicle, that younger person is going to be just even more. So when we deal and come into our contact with our families who have somebody who needs that extra assistance, this blue envelope is just basically should be the thing that opens the door and tells the officer before he ever gets in, okay, I've got to take a little bit of extra time, I've got to slow this down, and I've got to figure out how am I going to communicate with the person who just handed me this or held this up.
So, would the training then also include some mental illness responses?
We already do, ma'am,
Okay, that's
across the
what I
board.
thought. But I just
Our
wanted to
officers had
make
had
sure.
more hours of dealing with the mentally ill, and our partnership with the COPES, our partnership with the Mental Health Association, the entire FRAC, constantly review our training. It's a 4-hour block of it's either 1 or 4-hour block every year that the officers get a refresher and also get the latest professional guidance on how to deal with those different barriers.
Okay. And then with the Speaks Limited English,
Yes.
I'm wondering if there's going to be concern also with like ICE or being turned in with immigration type issues. Would that be?
I don't know, it's hard for me to speak for my federal partners. I can tell you this, we haven't experienced that in Tulsa yet.
I think you're doing a lot of outreach too, like on Spanish radio and things to
Well,
encourage people.
We're on Spanish radio twice a week, either maybe Ana Sorge or Officer Parga from our training division. I've spoken ad nauseum to, and to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Businessmen Associations, we just graduated our first, and you want to talk about excited people. We graduated our first Hispanic Citizen Police Academy in October. They had 70 people sign up for 40 slots.
Wow, that's great.
So we're running another one in the spring, and I already have been told that we have more Hispanic couples signing up for that we're not going to have enough slots in it. So it's going to be, it was like, I don't know, when I called their name, it was like announcing the Academy Award. If they were as close to me as Counselor Bush is, they stood up from the chair and they ran the edge of the room, high-fiving each other, and it'd take them a minute to get up to me to go, here's your diploma, and here's your challenge coin, thank you for being in the Citizen Police Academy. And I thought, well, that's just the first one. They did all 38 of them. It made the program, which should have been over 10 minutes, run about 40. But it was, my wife was with me, and at the end of it was like, wow. Plus, they threw a meal that was all home cooked. Oh,
That's
you
the best
guys
part.
need to come to Citizens Police Academy graduation. So the meal was incredible. So, but no, we're doing that again this spring. We will do a spring and a fall and a spring and a fall and a spring and a fall because it builds that trust and it gets us inroads into the community and them understand how we operate because they get to see the same thing in our regular academy, the same thing that this addresses. They get to see the mental health training. They get to see how detectives work. They get to see how motorcycle officers work. They get to see what the helicopter can and can't do. So if it's flying above you, it's most likely there to help you. It's not there looking for you. And that's one of the things we have to, because again, they'll raise ice. Well, I'll tell you, ICE doesn't have a helicopter in Oklahoma. We do. So.
Thank you for that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Counselor Archie?
Yes, thank you for this is this is amazing. I love the sticker idea. When you get pulled over, reaching is always, you never want to reach. And so having something
That's
that's
why
on
we
the
put it
back,
up
yeah,
here too,
exactly
so you
right.
could see an empty hand going up to pull it off the visor.
Love it. Then people can pick up these blue envelopes when they all begin to promote it. Where can they pick them up?
It's being promoted starting this afternoon and on the evening news, and they'll be at Riverside, Mingo Valley, Gilcrease, and downtown in the Executive Division.
Do you think you could put them at the QT?
We
were kind of talking about.
Councilor Becker and we both said Michael Junk at the same time
Yeah.
was our contact, and if we can't, I think what Michael would probably easily agree with, we have a QR code where somebody's been involved with an accident, can scan it, takes you to a self-reporting accident. We could have a QR code for the blue envelope,
Yeah.
or a QR code that took them to the dispatch screen that says, fill in this information and tell us what the officer will encounter when he comes to your home, if he's called.
Sure.
So, but again,
just a great
we
way.
took a good program.
Yeah.
The sticker, the QT ideas are all stuff that has been churning ever since we said, let's go.
Great.
So we will certainly reach out and see if we can do that.
And even within your own districts, you know, I mean, we might not have an autism chapter here, but I know I have a group chat with all kinds of families that, you know, have kids with ADHD and autism, young people, teenagers, young adults, and then Town and Country School here, I'm going to reach out to and make sure their high school counselors know about this new program, because those are the newest drivers in town. But, you know, we have different nonprofits in town that intersect with a lot of the community members that would benefit from this. So we can, in our own circles, maybe just help raise awareness.
And I'm thinking our city-county library system,
Sure.
since this is countywide.
Yeah.
It's countywide.
So
No, it is.
having
Health
that
department.
as a resource there at the library,
Well, put
because
it-
that might be easier to get to than a police station.
That's true.
Since we do have Mr. Miller here, what was the cost on this to launch? And I know you
That's
said
what I wish-
it's a low cost, but it's not no cost.
It's no cost, and I paid for all of it to launch it out of my fund.
Yeah. So
I don't know, but I'll
Okay.
get you that answer.
Yeah.
I was excited to do it. I was heading out of town when I said do it, and I was heading, I promised my wife actually to take her to Italy, and I didn't stop to say how much.
Right.
I just knew whatever it was worth
Sure.
the expense. But I will get that to you and
Yeah.
text it to you.
Especially if
I-
you do want to,
we
you know,
printed,
off at the libraries.
I want to say we printed either 5,000 or 7,000 of them to kick it off. But we're distributing it over 9 law enforcement agencies.
Right.
We're distributing it in every one of our divisions. We're distributing it in multiple locations for Tulsa County. We have told all those agencies, we're the startup fund.
Yeah.
They have to take it up and pick it up and run with it.
We'll provide you with the PDF file for print.
We did. The envelope that has the high-quality images on it, they all have this PDF so they can make their own envelopes.
Good.
I just wanted to get their buy-in at the front end. I'm hoping it will be every bit as successful as it was in Oklahoma City.
Will these be dispersed at the mental health facilities as well?
We could do that. Yeah, that'd be easy.
That would be helpful.
I'll put it on the next FRAC
Yeah.
agenda.
Okay.
It's something we can certainly talk about with them and have the captain and the major that attend that and Chief Warmerhauser speak to the program and see how we could use them as a resource to distribute it. But I really think if we could get Quick Trips buy-in, 78 stores, 78 locations, you can't go a mile in
That's
any
exactly
direction
right.
from
It's
somewhere
such
not in a Quick
so
Trip.
viral.
Yeah.
Or what Service Oklahoma, when you're getting your license, that could be but yeah, we're a good job.
I have a
Thanks,
PDF,
sir.
I guess I do. Well, thank you so much. It's a good day to have a good announcement, and I appreciate you coming in and making time for us.
And thank you for your support from this, from the
course.
word go.
Okay. We're back on the agenda now, item number 7. Thanks, Steve.
Good job.
Discussion with representatives from Downtown Tulsa Partnership regarding an update on recent developments and current activities. We have Mr. Kurtz with us just briefly until the end of the year, I think. One more time.
I'm gonna flank you, if that's okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I don't know if Counselor.
No worries. Good afternoon, say good morning, because I'm used to UED. Good
Yeah,
afternoon,
good
councilors.
afternoon.
How are you all?
Good afternoon.
I'll take
Oh, more stuff.
a few there.
It's comes out heavy today.
It is the holiday.
Counselor.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. In return, I may take a Reese's cup.
Help yourself.
Hey, you need a blue
Oh,
envelope?
yeah.
Blue envelope.
Are you sure you don't want a Snickers instead?
You know what, let me grab one of them for this. Snickers, maybe.
There's a peanut butter Snickers though, too.
Such a peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut allergy is a bad day to come to council.
I prefer the nougat.
Counselor Dr. Wright, thank you very much for
Yes.
having us. I know that I caused a little bit of strife trying to get some slides up there, and if they get up, that's great, if not.
Oh, is that drive not cooperating?
But I know it's Brian Kurtz not cooperating.
Oh.
I'm surprised by that one.
This is some real senioritis.
Not at all, not at all. We appreciate the opportunity to join you today. I am joined by my colleague Emily Scott, who is DTP's Vice President of Urban Development. And as of January 1st, she will be serving as interim president, CEO of DTP in my absence, and as I begin to transition out. So we're incredibly excited. I think purpose for being here today, primarily, one, give you an update on all the great things that are happening within the organization downtown, challenges that remain and exist. Number two, to talk a little bit about this transition plan and ensure that you have a direct contact with Emily as I am departing over the next couple of days. And three, I think you, Councilor Dr. Wright, said it was being a little selfish or self-serving for a second in jest, and doing the same here as an opportunity to say thank you for your collaboration over the last 7.5 years that I've had the joy of being in Tulsa, working with the city, for the city, and on behalf of downtown and all of our stakeholders. So with that, in front of you, what we have, we're going to run through very quickly Downtown Days of Wonder, our annual report, year in review, a few specific project updates and safety efforts that DTP is working on, and then highlight, I guess we already talked about that executive transition plan and the thank you, so we can wrap up at that point in time. There we go. Just a quick reminder of Downtown Tulsa Partnership, formed 4.5 years ago as we transitioned the Downtown Coordinating Council out of City Hall into a standalone 501c3 organization. Our mission being the champion of downtown, ensuring its prosperity, economic growth, and vitality in downtown. That we see downtown as as the region's center of commerce, culture, and community. Our guiding principles that downtown is a welcoming place, it's economically resilient, active and beautiful, and community-driven. And then the core functions of our organization that Emily will be working with our team and board to roll out more comprehensively in the new year, focused around 3 areas of place management, transformation and development, and engagement and activation. These are the areas that are driving our work moving forward. You will see in our annual report from last fiscal year, so things that are really ending of June of last year, highlighting our clean and safe operations, a lot of the beautification and asset management that we undertake, urban development work, a few of those projects that we'll go into, and communications, marketing, and engagement work across the downtown and community. I just glossed over one thing that I was going to talk about later, but I think I'm going to bring up right now just as a reminder to you all. In the annual report that's spread on pages 6 and 7, beautification and asset management, we have the, I wouldn't call it necessarily pleasure, but obligation to maintain about 1,000 streetlights in downtown. And that's an important thing for our organization to remind this body, the city, and major stakeholders that on the improvement district revenue that the city passes through to us, a portion of it that the city passes through to us, not only are we tasked with providing cleaning, safety, beautification work, but we're also maintaining about 1,000 streetlights in downtown, additional benches, things that are city property but are a part of the contract that we have with the city of Tulsa. That is an extraordinarily unique challenge and role that a downtown place management organization plays when you look at peers across the country, and one that's a little bit of that puts us at a bit of a disadvantage when we look at the striking needs that exist across the community itself. But we're going to come back to that item in just a second, but I thought that it was healthy to highlight in there. And I completely glossed over because I don't have a copy of it. You have a single sheet right here in front of you, Downtown Days of Wonder. It is the holiday season. As we know, this is the last meeting that you have for the year. We're in the midst of Hanukkah right now, celebrating Christmas and all of the holidays that are coming up over the next week. In downtown, we package everything that's happening in downtown with a number of partners under Downtown Days of Wonder, which is a way to direct people to the events, resources, things that are taking place in downtown. When we look at downtown Tulsa, the businesses that make up our shopping and dining, about 97% of these are small businesses. It shouldn't be a surprise to any one of you the trying times that we are in. I see every single day a call to action from a small business across our community that's saying, hey, support us, make sure that you're shopping small. And we double down on that work in downtown through campaigns like Shop Small, where any person who spends more than $50 in a downtown restaurant or business can go enter a drawing to win hundreds of dollars of prizes that exist in downtown. We had one drawing already. We have another one coming up in January, and it's not too late to do your holiday shopping. I know I still need to do that myself. Nutcracker taking place, festivities that are taking place, whether it's buying lunch, bringing into your business, there's an ability to do that and keep all of that money in the downtown community itself. But Downtown Days of Wonder is the one-stop shop for all things holidays, whether it's lights, activations, experiences, and events. So don't forget to celebrate the season in downtown. I think if we move to the next slide, we're going to highlight a few projects that have been talked about for a while, are still in process and in progress, that are bound to see the light of day very, very quickly. So I'm going to turn things over to Emily to talk a little bit about the dog park that you see on the screen, and we may switch back and forth as we, this is the only picture that we have about this one, but as we talk about these few projects.
Yes, so pages 6 through 9 in the annual report showcase the bulk of the public realm projects that we've undertaken. This is an initiative that's grown a lot over the past 3 years through a close partnership with Partner Tulsa and supporting the implementation of the public side of the Downtown Master TIF. In 2024, we embarked on a year-long planning process, Downtown Tulsa Forward, a strategic investment plan to look at how we should deploy the accumulating revenues in the public side of the TIF. Following that, we immediately got to work and started implementing some of those recommendations. We do so on an annual basis in close partnership with Partner Tulsa and their economic incentive committees. Councilor Bengal has been in many hours of us talking project by project through all of these, and we don't want to certainly go through all of those today. But as of our latest, we have over $20 million in public infrastructure investments that our organization has been guiding right back into downtown. So these are meant to complement the private investments that the TIF has supported in the past 10 plus years, and to make sure that we're also taking care of everything between our buildings, on our streets, in our parks, and the amenities that folks use in our streetscapes. A couple of those that are coming out of the gate as a result of that planning and implementation is the dog park, as Brian mentioned. This is one of the first projects that got brought to us by Tulsa Arts District business and owners associations. This is the 3rd-acre park there, formerly known as Legacy Park. We went through a process here formally to rename it Brush Arbor Grove. So this project has gone out to bid and will be under construction in the beginning of the new year. We're excited to deploy these public funds in a way that we feel is going to reutilize already existing public space into better use, more active use, more dedicated use, and in a section of our downtown that has welcomed over 500 new apartments, and we anticipate will continue to grow and welcome new neighbors and their furry friends. Another project that we wanted to touch on today is Center of the Universe. Did you want me to do that, Brian, or you want to?
Keep going.
Okay, so Center of the Universe is actually the first public project that us as an organization got into. Brian initiated this work before I even came on board, but I'm really excited to be able to get this across the finish line in his absence. So we've been working on Center of the Universe with our city partners, with Partner Tulsa as well as some private philanthropic funders and corporate funders in this space. Those public announcements will be coming here in the next few weeks. We are finalizing that bid package, which we also anticipate to be going to bid early of next year. This is a $7 million reinvestment in the above deck portion of the Boston Avenue Bridge, the 100-year-old bridge space there next to Union Depot, connecting the Arts Districts and the Deco District. You all are, I'm sure, very familiar with this space. This has been a long-going, community-driven process. It's got a complicated capital stack, but we've always seen ourselves as stewards of this space and seen it as a really important part for not only Tulsans, who very much so identify with this space as a part of our heritage, but visitors. Visitors from all over the world come to Center of the Universe to experience the acoustic anomaly and to just stand in that storied place. So we're looking forward to getting that project started with our corporate, private, and public partners here in the new year. Did you want to add anything about Center of the Universe?
No,
Is this why you left?
This is the thing that almost made me stay. Quite opposite. Quite opposite.
Yeah.
This is the I would say one of the things that as my family and I were contemplating a move that's going to take us out of Tulsa, this was the project. This was the thing that gave me the greatest amount of regret for leaving Tulsa. That I'm excited for the things that are about to be announced and about to come right on the heels of my departure, and I look forward to coming back when this is finished, and even before that, and seeing the progress being made and celebrating with the community what a magnificent space this is going to be in the end for the community itself.
It is. We need a brick there with your name on it.
Yeah. I don't know, no bricks. We're not doing any stencil bricks in any way whatsoever.
Try to get your thumbprint on
Yeah, well,
the
yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
yeah.
Little graffiti tag or something over there instead of
Right.
mango, it'll be bright. I wanted to take a few moments just to remind folks about the services that we are providing every single day in the core of downtown. Trash management, litter mitigation, we have established over the last 6 months or so, and I don't think the chief is still here, in partnership with Major Onus Orge in downtown, Captain Shelley Seibert, who is overseeing downtown as well. A magnificent relationship and partnership in which TPD is doing their work and they are leaning on us to provide the services that we provide day in and day out, helping to clean up areas that have been enforced by TPD for one reason or another, or just maintaining the trash cans that we've installed and maintain in downtown on behalf of the city itself. In addition to that, next slide, I don't know who's running this one. This is Carly, who is unfortunately our outgoing outreach agent as we look to onboard someone else. Carly's going to be joining Housing Solutions in part to serve Safe Move Tulsa and the work that the city of Tulsa is funding there. And we will maintain an outreach effort engaging and working with our unsheltered community, working with Housing Solutions to get people into housing services and situations. And we know that we also provide hospitality safety services in downtown. Many of you who were at our annual meeting recall to us talking about enhanced safety services. And the next slide provides a more detailed overview that I'm not going to read verbatim. But this is something that we've been working on, not even for the last few months, but even for the last several years. We've dusted this off many times over, and it always goes back to money and funding and what role and purpose does DTP serve itself. A reminder that about 65% of our funding comes from the Tulsa Stadium Improvement District, at least a portion of that. We are providing supplemental services above and beyond baseline services and services that the municipality itself is providing and property owners provide. We are caretakers of spaces that we do not own. We are looking at that space from one building, if you do a cross-section of the street, from one building facade to the other building facade across the street without touching those building facades. So what is the role of DTP in providing and maintaining base level services in downtown? And we think that, at least Brian, to this point, has thought that there are opportunities for us to expand unarmed safety services in downtown. And what we have in front of us is a proposal to more than double our safety team and relaunch it with a more enhanced security resource officer in downtown, 7 days a week from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. This is built on models that we see, you can move on, that's fine. Built on models that we have seen in Dallas and Houston and cities all around the country, in Kansas City and St. Louis as well. What we see this looking like is a ramp up from a ramp up period to about 12 individuals, with years 1 to 3 looking at 1 to 3 safety patrol. This would add dispatching services in our downtown as well across our cleaning and safety teams and outreach teams. And eventually, even more so, more recent than that, hopefully, is adding a position inside of DTP to help with public safety coordination among public and private partners in downtown. Next one. Just showcasing these things cost a lot of money, and most of that comes down to labor. And we've been very fortunate to receive initial funding not only from the Ann and Henry Zero Foundation over a 3-year period, and working to finalize a one-time grant from the Tulsa Area United Way to support these services. But that still, there's a gap that comes with this. And the gap exists for one primary reason. Oh, you're running this. There you go. That's perfect. And this goes back to the nature of the Tulsa Stadium Improvement District itself. The graph that you're showing, while it's about 2 years old, is comparing Tulsa to Oklahoma City, Kansas City, and Raleigh, an improvement district. The special assessment that private property owners, in many cases, most cases, are electing to pay to provide extra services in downtown. You can see the top line are relatively similar across Tulsa, OKC, Kansas City is a little bit higher, and then a little bit greater than Raleigh. Our populations are roughly the same daytime and nighttime, and number of visitors that are in our downtown areas are relatively the same. We're slightly under what Oklahoma City is. The lower portion of the bar in Tulsa shows what we are in our community sending to supplemental services. In Oklahoma City, Kansas City, and Raleigh, their downtown management organizations receive 100% of the funds that are collected from the improvement district. In Tulsa, that number is hovering around 40%. The remainder of that goes to the Tulsa Stadium Trust to fund debt service on the ballpark. It's the reason that we have One Oak Field. It's the reason that the FC Tulsa had a fantastic stadium to celebrate a really fantastic season and then fight for that championship in downtown. It's also the albatross around our ability to provide adequate services and fund adequate services in downtown for supplemental safety and beautification. When this was created in 2008, 2009, it was factoring a base year of assessments looking at land plus building improvement on top of that. And in the years since, we have added tremendous square footage to our downtown community. Most recently, 222 North Detroit. We have Santa Fe Square that's been constructed just a few blocks east of us. And then what we want to see going forward in the Cathedral District in downtown in partnership with many institutional partners that Emily is leading. We need to take a very strong look at the funding breakdown of this if we are going to demand adequate services, if we're going to try to be the downtown that we want to be for our entire community. There's not an ability, we're strapped as it is, taking a look at the existing public realm obligations that we have, let alone looking at adding a dog park, center of the universe operations to that, and then even Chapman Green is another public space that we're going to be, the DTP in partnership with the City and Parks Department will be investing a lot of money into over the next several years, and with Partner Tulsa's support, excuse me. This is going to be the thing that as a community, we have to get a grapple in if we're going to be the downtown, be the community that we want to be moving forward. And the unfortunate piece of this is so much of this is tied to debt service and bond indentures that exist today. And there's still, we need to find an opportunity to take a look at new square footage that is added to downtown, that it was not budgeted to be factored into debt service on the ballpark after that baseline year. So what opportunities do we have to capture new square footage and put directly back into core services that are necessary for downtown, like the safety expansion that we have today? So the next slide that we're going to go to, just because I don't want to settle and end on such a negative note there, because there's so much that we have to celebrate. My greatest hope is that we can take the progress that has been achieved in downtown over 2 decades or more, the development, the investment by small business owners in our community, by major developers as well, and continue building upon that for the future of Tulsa, for kids who are not born yet today, for kids who have been born over the last couple of years. And I am, going back to my beginning statements, I've been very reflective of my certainly last 7.5 years, and even more so last final 5 years in Tulsa, and looked back at a document I shared with Emily that was about during the pandemic and programs that I forgot as a community. We were standing up at that time to get businesses support to build outdoor dining and provide opportunities for people to continue coming in downtown at a time where we thought everything was coming crashing down. So we know that challenges exist. Challenges are always going to exist here in Oklahoma City, in Raleigh, in San Jose, where I'm going to be heading in the new year. But I am, without a doubt, so optimistic about the future of Downtown Tulsa Partnership and the work that is going to go in by our board, by our dedicated staff and team to continue driving progress in partnership with the city and on behalf of the city moving forward. So once again, thank you so much for the tremendous support, whether it's been just this year or over the past 7 years that we've had the chance to work together.
I think we came in at the same time, Brian.
We wouldn't have been able to do it without a fantastic partnership with City Council over here. And I forgot we were going to talk anything else about the transition. Was there anything else you wanted to provide on that
Sure,
point?
I can just kind of outline what that'll look like in Brian's absence. So we have an executive search team as a part of our board. They are going to be leading the replacement process. So right now, they're looking and interviewing national search firms and some local firms as well. They'll be making that selection early January and then anticipated to kick off the search process shortly after that. We're anticipating it ranging anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. These searches, it's more important that you get it right versus fast. But I'm looking forward to be stepping in the interim. We've been talking a lot as staff of what that transition is going to look like and making sure that the organization stays as stable
and continues to sail as smooth as possible into the future. Hopefully those that I've worked with you in the past, you know that I'm an active communicator, I'm easy to reach, and if you don't have my card, email, or cell phone, please let me know. I'm excited to do this. Brian leaves big shoes, figuratively and literally.
Yeah, size
that
13.
we're gonna have to stand in. But we're excited to continue this work forward, and we feel stable and secure for the future, and looking forward to DTP's next chapter as well.
Thank you so much, and you're going where I came from. I left San Jose to come to Tulsa, and you're on your way. The commute will not be as good as it is in Tulsa.
Yeah, enjoy that.
But
It will be.
no,
It'll be terrible.
thank you so much thank you so much for the transformational leadership that you've brought to our city.
Here, here.
You know, took the downtown partnership and launched it out as its own nonprofit and have really scaled up. And, you know, we're very creative during the pandemic. We learned what parklets are, and right? So a lot of that was because of you and your team. And thank you for stepping up to lead in the interim. I hope the search is only 6 to 12 weeks. That would be amazing. Any questions or comments for our friends with Downtown Tulsa Partnership?
Have you ever received a Tulsa City Council Challenge coin?
Ooh, get them the good
Keep
one.
talking.
You're about to get one.
You got a
Oh,
good
no.
one. There's also the book group.
Yes.
Do you have Kleenex somewhere?
Yeah.
Is
I know you're a soft. You're an old softie. And,
I am.
and don't forget us here in Tulsa. I know you won't, but
Not at all.
best of luck to you and your family as you head west.
Thank you.
And if you have any, if you need any recommendations for good restaurants in San Jose, I'll
Always
text them
take
to you.
Yeah, enjoy
Laura.
losing hours of your life to traffic. So
Literally.
just
That's
that's
not
my
a
that's my
figure.
spicy comment. Just enjoy that.
Love it.
No, we'll miss you. That's what that was. I was just going back to, you know, I think one of the biggest things you imparted was that percent breakdown related to just funding and what it'll take to accelerate downtown. I just wanted to check on her. I'm curious about, you know, knowing that it's going to the stadium trust for a reason. Do you have, is part of what you're proposing, like trying to find a specific sunset timeframe, or just that the percentage just, like, are you proposing like figuring out a way to like over time transition to an 100%? Like what would you suggest? Or or give us your hottest take, because you don't have to work with us anymore.
Yeah, you
It's-
could just
it's,
go hard right now.
The asset is not going away in any way, shape, or form. When the 2039 is the end of the, in its current state, the end of the bond payment schedule for that. And at that point in time, the entire improvement district is slated to go away. That's the way that the City of Tulsa ordinance is written and following state statute. When that happens, there's always an opportunity to solicit and go around, collect signatures from property owners to say, hey, we want, maybe not to the same extent as it is today, and maybe it's funding a new asset, maybe it's just funding services. But there's an opportunity to create a new voluntary assessment on behalf of property owners or with property owners to continue providing funding for services. I think that just acknowledging that these things are incredibly important. These are community conversations that cannot wait until 2039.
Sure.
And the mayor being active on the Tulsa Stadium Trust, I think, is an extraordinary thing as well. But everyone who, if you ask our entire board what should happen, should bond payments be sped up and the entire thing be retired early? Should it fund a new asset? Should it go away in its entirety? If you ask 21 members on our board, you're going to get 21 different answers of that. I think that if you talk to people around the table, you may get the same thing as well. So the broader community, outside of just Downtown Tulsa Partnership, outside of just the Tulsa Stadium Trust, I think this is the time to start talking about what is necessary to put the adequate resources into these supplemental services in downtown.
Okay.
I didn't directly answer that.
I know, you can be, maybe if you want to, one of you, in the near future, submit being like in an optimal situation, because per your, like, I don't want to wait till 2039 to better fund really core things downtown. We see what, or at least I see on a regular basis what that looks like when some of these things are not, you guys are doing your best with what you have, and I know that it's not enough for what our downtown needs, especially if we're going to keep growing, if we're going to have more people living and working downtown, and supporting it, especially in economically hard times as well. So if there's like a certain, because to me, it seems like 2039 is a long time to wait to revisit, and what do we, I would just love to see some type of, like, this is what we'd recommend or suggest doing in like over this time frame.
Maybe we can look at the arena district plan and kind of
Yes, yeah.
synergize and not,
Yeah.
compartmentalize all these different initiatives.
Yes, yeah, agreed.
Counselor Lakin is going to make an official
Yeah,
presentation
you
to
deserve
Mr.
far,
Rose.
far more than this, but there's a small token of our appreciation for everything.
Thank you very much. I
Yes,
appreciate that.
thank you for your
Yeah,
service.
we're-
Thanks for stepping
You know,
up.
fond memories of city council.
Yeah.
Beautiful things.
Always.
Right in your
Always good
living
times at
room.
City council.
Well, and I think people, I'm just gonna say
Never
it,
not.
Brian also has been instrumental in serving on Housing Solutions Tulsa's board, including as president, as they had launched and started establishing initiatives, so. As they say, 10% of the people do 90% of the work, and I think Brian definitely lives up to that. If there's nothing further, we're gonna adjourn and reset and maybe come back at 5 after 4. Does that work for everyone? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you, Brian.